What's up, everybody? What's up? What's going on? It is that time again. Let me see. I'm trying to make sure that we are actually live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. I want to thank everybody that's actually joining us tonight for another episode. You all know what we do on Thursdays, right? This is our version of Throwback Thursdays here at ColumbusBlack.com, and we showcase our businesses. So this is our Support Black Business series, sponsored by the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. Now, the cool part about this is that we are also doing our Artist Voice Showcase, where we highlight and showcase local artists who are exhibiting their form of art in their own voice. So tonight we have a combination. We're going to kick it off with our Artist Voice segment, and then we're going to go into our feature segment on the business side as well. So with that being said, for those that are new to ColumbusBlack.com, we've been around almost 16 years. We're on omni-channel platform connecting the Black community to commerce and to culture. My name is Kevin Lloyd. I'm the founder and CEO, and I'm excited to have you here with us for this particular show. Now, with that, what does all that mean, right? Connecting the commerce and culture. The commerce piece is what y'all are going to see right now, right? When we talk about businesses and supporting Black-owned businesses and connecting to those businesses and helping people exchange money, that's the commerce side. The culture side, you're going to see with Artist Voice, because we connect you to culture. That's the entertainment side. That's the art side of what's going on in our city, the capital city right here. So with that being said, this literally is the epitome of who we are and what we do. So excited to have you here. Now I'm going to ask everybody that's joining us to do one thing. At some point during this show, preferably right now, and as you hear me say it, and I'll say it a few more times, is I need you to hit the share button, right? I want you to like this event. I need you to hit the share button. Why? Because I'll guarantee you something is going to be said that's going to impact somebody's life on this show today. I guarantee it. At least one thing, right? That's the first. The second thing is you are going to see me do certain things during the show. They're called gem drops. That's when I do this, right? And what that means is that, guess what? Our guests are dropping gems, okay? So y'all are going to see me do that with some excitement and some passion. And sometimes you may see me real quiet and I'm just going like, wow, like they are dropping it, right? So, but at the same time, we are going to have some fun because that's what we do right here, okay? So with that being said, it's time for us to switch gears and to get this thing kicked off. So our guest for the Artist Voice segment tonight happens to be Victor Dandridge. Victor,
hello.
It's a pleasure to have you here with us today. So that I don't screw you up, I want to allow you to introduce yourself to our listening audience, and then we'll go into a little bit more about you, what you're doing, all that good stuff, and highlight and showcase you, all right?
Of course. Thank you, Kevin, for having me on. This is an absolute honor. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Victor Dandridge, aka the hardest working man in comics. I am a Columbus-born super native of the South Side. I am Romeo and Juliet relationship of a member from Southfield, if you guys know what that is, and the true South Side. My mother grew up around Marion Franklin. My father went to South. So I am a true South Sider who grew up with an absolute passion for comic books. And about 10 years ago, I took my passion to a new level, quit a cushy state job, and opened up my own comic book imprint, Vantage in-House Productions, which I've been running full-time for the last 10 years.
Nice.
Thank you.
So the last thing is, so hold on a second, break. We gotta do this. This happens all the time, right?
Of course.
Is people come on the show and they give us the spill, right? And it's like, well, hold on a minute.
How'd you get there?
Right, how'd you get there? It's been a minute. You're doing some great things. So comic books, right?
Yes.
So how did you get into comic books? Like, when did you know? Like, help us out.
Sure. So I was about 10 years old. And as a 10-year-old, I didn't like to read. Like, books were evil, of the devil. You couldn't pay me to read a book. But trust me, my mother tried. But I was into pop culture and movies and things like that. And I would watch the news. And they announced on the news that Superman was going to die. And I'm like, hold up, stop, time out. How do you kill Superman? If that's a story, I want to read that. And my mother was all about, getting me to read by any means necessary. If I was reading, she was happy. And she worked at City Center Mall at the time. Shout out to City Center, the great City Center Mall. She went over to Lazarus on the 5th floor, they actually had a comic shop, comes home the next day with a stack of books and is like, read these. And it opened up a brand new door for me of entertainment, literature, things that I could get into, something that just kind of sparked. I fell in love with the medium, wanted to create stories of my own, ended up finding out that on my father's side of the family, they were huge comic book fans, which was insane. Like, we actually had a disconnect on so many things when I was younger because they were more sports minded. I was not. I was a skinny, frail kid. Sports were not in the equation, like, at all. But yeah, once I started talking about comic books, and they're like, "Wait, you like comics?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Then all of a sudden, yes, it was something that ignited a passion from their youth that they could now, integrate into mine. And come to find out, 3 of my uncles could draw. So that became like this hub of support for this interest. And, for, the early 90s, Black kid getting into comics wasn't really the cool thing to do. Where other kids are choosing different affiliations of red and blue, I'm over here Marvel, DC, and it's keeping me out of trouble. And so it works. It gives me something to focus on, something to run towards. And it kind of guided me through middle school, through high school, where I went to Fort Hays Metropolitan Education Center, both for the high school and vocational studies. So I'm certified in commercial art, and it just drove me constantly. I had something that I wanted. The big thing about that is one of my uncles, the youngest of them, my uncle Mark Rossi, he was really one of the biggest voices to say, like, you're going to figure out a way to do something with this passion, with this love, with art. You're going to find a way. We all had, practical lives that we had to take on, but we're going to figure it out. You're going to find a way to make this work. And unfortunately, after only a year of, his regular support, both as my uncle and an art mentor, he was a victim of violent crime. He was killed by 3 young teenage white kids for apparently no reason, right? Like, there wasn't a discernible reason for it. It came at a very difficult time for my family. I had just gotten out of the hospital. I had been hospitalized in a coma for a day and a half, very mysterious illness. So this comes right on the heels of that. And at 11 years old, I'm making this promise, by candlelight, like Batman did, in honor of my uncle. I'm going to find a way to make something of myself in this industry. He believed in me, and I'm going to do that thing. So, heavy. At that age,
heavy.
Yes. But I mean, heavy, but not all at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's a heavy thing to say, but I was empowered to do it. So I had all the tools that I needed. I had, parents that were supportive of it. Granted, they definitely wanted me to maintain regular education, but for something that was motivating me, guiding me, they were all about using that. And it, like I said, it guided me all the way through high school up until I got to college. I attended CCAD for a short time. That's the Columbus College of Art and Design. But there I discovered that drawing wasn't necessarily my passion. It was in writing. And, as life would have it, I left. I matriculated at The Ohio State University for a time. But I then discovered that I'm a guy that doesn't want to sit in the classroom and learn about a thing. I want to get out into the field and do it. That's me, right? Yes. Nice. Now, I fully support anybody that wants to, grow in education. But for myself, I had to be hands-on, get into the field, start doing things, make connections, find out where I stand, look at what the business is, see if I agree with all the rules that are currently being stated for the business. In many cases, I didn't. I wanted to make my own lane. I wanted to do things my way. And that's how I got into the industry. So I had been published through another small press imprint. Shout out to Freestyle Comics. Mike Watson is a creator born and raised in Cleveland who came here for college. And we met then, and he became one of my best friends and allowed me to write his flagship title called Hot Shot. So if you go to any comic shop in Columbus, ask for Freestyle Comics, ask for Hot Shot, you can see some of my first work. But through that experience, the bug was too strong. I needed to make comics far more regularly than that. I couldn't just wait for somebody else. I wanted to get in there on the grind, make comics all the time. So in 2010, I left a cushy state job. And we all know, like, if you work for the state, the only thing better than the state is working for the federal government. I left that to make comic books because that was what woke me up in the morning. That's what I needed to do. I needed to do that thing. The pay was great. I had a family. I was married. I had 2 kids. That wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. I needed something that was going to, fulfill my soul. And that was being creative. It was getting up every day and finding a way to make comics, tell stories, encourage other people to do that thing, because that's what mattered to me. So that is the long form of my origin story.
Wow. And
Thank
what
you.
a story. What a powerful story. Some major decisions. Is interesting. I love it. I want to go back to this part, right? I'll share this so everybody knows. I share all the time that our participants and our panelists that come on the show have the ability to change somebody's life by what it is that they've experienced. And it's interesting hearing the family dichotomy, right? Initially, but then being able to identify that connection and the impact that had. But then also you having a foundation to do the things you did, and you just went after it.
Yes.
And now here you are. So walk us through as we get ready to wrap up the showcase. Walk us through what you're working on now and what are the next steps, right? And then we want to go into where people can find your work and then how we support you. So
of course,
first of all, what are you doing now and what's next?
So through my imprint, Vantage and House Productions, we have a number of different titles out, all catering to various age groups. We don't want to just necessarily, pick one audience and just focus on them. We try to focus on any number of audiences. So right now we actually have a title that's all ages friendly called Wonder Care Presents the Kinderguardians. It's Muppet Babies Meets the Justice League. And we just released our 7th issue of that this January. We have the 8th issue in production right now. We're also continuing with our we'll say young adult oriented title, The Trouble with Love, and its sequel series, Never Too Late. That one's coming out shortly. And we actually are right now doing a campaign for our mature title, The Samaritan, which is a little bit more of an urban mature title. Think of if Punisher had superpowers and moved into a crime-ridden neighborhood and start fixing things as, judiciously as he felt. That's what, we have done with this series. And we just celebrated 10 years of that coming out this past March, and celebrate that with an 8th issue, a brand new series going to kick off from that. So that's me on the publishing side. My You Create Comics line, thank you. My You Create Comics line right now is being a feature of the Charles School, which is doing a artist residency, and we're running a 10-week course, 11-week course to show high school students how to make a comic book from start to finish, giving them a sense of entrepreneurial skill, publishing, writing, art, that whole 9. And that's going to be the big thing that I do moving forward, trying to showcase in Columbus specifically what kind of comics people can create, how to become their own bosses.
That is phenomenal, man.
Thank you.
I know we had the opportunity to have a brief touch base. I want to circle back with you in regards to that.
Sure.
Specifically, right? I think that's huge, especially for our youth and those that are interested. I have a friend of mine, Andre Harper. He loves comic books, right? Like he's a big comic guy.
Right.
So I'm hoping he's watching this show, and if not, I'm sure he will be later. But I look forward to being able to support you. So speaking of support,
yes.
How do we support as a community, right? That's a big part of the next segment, which is Support Black Business Series.
Of course.
How do we support you in your endeavors and what you have going on?
Obviously, if you visit vantageinhouse.com, that's VANTAGEINHOUSE.com, you can see the things that I've published as a book publisher. But the biggest thing, like as much as I love those books and I want to get those out there, the biggest thing for me is the You Create Comics line. That's the letter U, CRE, the number 8, comics.com. And the reason why that's more important to me is because helping me actually empowers others with that. That's one of those things where right now, especially on the South Side, we are what I call a geek desert. There aren't any specialty retail shops that cater to pop cultural or geeky interests for kids on the South Side of the city. And so my next initiative is to fulfill that gap. So right now, I actually have in production some yard signs that will go out in Southfield in my neighborhood, where kids from the neighborhood can scan it with a QR code. They pay a discounted price for an art kit, and I will hand deliver that to their house and talk to them about what their creative opportunities are, to let them know what types of things are out there for geek-centric creatives, because that's not something that we typically see. We see sports, we see music, maybe we see movies, but there are other fields of entertainment and literature that we can get into, that we can create things right now, not even wait for when I grow up. They can be active, a part of this community right now. And there's a huge resource for it in Columbus that most African-American kids specifically don't know anything about.
Wow. Heavy, heavy, heavy. All right. So there you all have it, right? So you know exactly how we can support Victor in his efforts and do what we need to do. So hey, listen, one of the things as we wrap up, you know, before all of these shows, people normally come on, they get ready, like, man, I'm gonna drop this when I get on the show. And then they forget. And they're like, I can't believe that I forgot to say that, right?
Of course.
So is there anything that we missed that you want to share, or anybody want to shout out, or anything like that before we go, so you don't have to say that later on?
Of course. No, I got to shout out my family, because without them, I would be nothing. That's you know, how I was able to do what I do and who I do what I do for. So shout out to my entire family, my mom, my dad, my children, my lovely partner, Adriana. I love her. Like, again, I wouldn't be able to do this without her. The thing that I want to give as a jewel, though, specifically, is do not allow anyone to deter you from your path. If it is your vision, it is for you to see through. It does not matter who else is behind you. Make it happen. I just gotta be 100 with that one. Gotta be 100 with that one.
It came from here, right?
Yes.
All right, that is awesome. Well, listen, y'all just heard it directly from Victor. First of all, sharing all the great things that you're doing and how you actually got to this point, and then what's ahead, which is amazing and powerful in itself. And I love the legacy component of what you're establishing and building. So we're excited to be able to showcase you on the show today. Once again, y'all. And then on top of that, he just dropped some heavy gems to wrap it up. It ain't nothing like dropping the mic before you go. All right?
you have me on. I got to take advantage.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we thank you for being on the show. We also want to thank Columbus Makes Art for their support of being a sponsor of Artist Voice. I want to thank Jamie Goldstein and the team at GCAC for their support with Columbus Makes Art and all that they're doing to make sure we highlight and we showcase our local artists, because we have some amazing talent, as you all could see, like Victor in our capital city. So thanks again, brother. Feel free, if you want to hang out, you feel free.
I'm definitely staying on. I want to hear what Ms. Spencer has to say.
Oh yeah, most people do. So it's all good. No surprises there.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, y'all, we're going to move on into the next segment and focus on our Support Black Business series. Once again, that's sponsored by the Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. And I have the pleasure of introducing, and I'm going to let her give the full intro, but I have the ability to introduce Miss Brenda D. Spencer, who I have personally known for quite some time now. I think just about 15 years, if not a little bit longer. And it's been an honor. And now I get the chance to have her on the show. So right now, we talk about those who know what they're doing. I'm just going to like hang tight for a minute. So Brenda, would you mind introducing yourself to our audience and letting them know, for those that may not know, which can't be too many, that don't know who you are, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, hello, Kevin Lloyd. Thank you for having me. First of all,
Absolutely.
I have to say thank you for this platform. Thank you for what you do, because I remember you when I was selling radio, when you first came into the radio station with all of your plans and ideas, and I have watched you grow into this icon in the community doing your thing, and just, you know,
I appreciate it.
Let me come on your show. Your platform is, I'm thankful, I'm grateful for all of that. I am, to give you a little bit of background, I am from Columbus, Ohio. This is home to me. I grew up in the North End. I am a Linda McKinley, Go Panthers.
Okay, shout out.
Yeah, I ain't gonna talk about the Bulldogs. You know, I heard you say Southside.
I mean.
Panthers are in the house, okay? And I was listening intently to Victor. I'm so impressed with Victor and what he's doing.
Thank you.
I also went to Fort Hayes. So when I was in the second graduating class is when they started Fort Hayes, the career centers in Columbus. So when they came through and passed out these sheets when we were like ninth grade, and it had a list of categories of careers. I saw radio and TV on that list, and I said, that's it. And here I am, 40 plus years later, and I'm still in radio and television. And one of the things that really impressed me, I know I'm supposed to talk about me, but I'm talking about Victor too, was what came through is your passion.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I love that. And this is what I tell everybody: when you find your passion, find it, and it's also like your God's gift, that your talent that he gave you, use that, to move forward. And I can just feel and hear and see in your face your passion. So I'm so impressed with what you're doing. So we got to talk later, because
yes, indeed,
I want to network with you. So after I came out, I'm also going back to me now. I went to OU following my dream, my passion of radio and television. I came out in 84 with a degree in television production, because I've always wanted to be behind the scenes. I want to produce and I want to direct, and that was my thing. And then graduating, and this is going back to you again, Victor. My first job was at the state of Ohio. Department of Communication. I'm like, wow.
Y'all just
yes, huh? Yes, we've touched on so many things. But that lasted. Then I went from there to Channel 4, and as you go through life, got married, had kids. And then when I finally got into radio, it was in like 1993. And I always tell people that, including in my book, is television is my first love, but radio stole my heart.
Ooh,
so I got into radio. Okay, the best thing that I had going for me is my mentor, who was Vince Frugier. God rest his soul. He passed away a couple of years ago, but that was a Black man that was my mentor, that taught me how to sell radio, that taught me with patience and kindness and sternness, and with the discipline of how to sell, what you need to get up and do. So I did that for 3 years. I can never thank him enough. I miss him. Don't let me start crying. But but he was the best mentor ever. And I pray and wish that on everybody to find a mentor that can help nurture you through whatever it is you're trying to do. So, and I did radio, and for about 5 or 6 years, and I flipped up. And as the radio stations were being bought and sold, a lot was going on back then. And I went to Lynch Communications with Amos Lynch, God rest his soul, another mentor who actually, we call him Uncle Amos, gave me my first job when I was like 13, selling the calling posts in the neighborhood. So I've been working forever. Okay.
You're still looking good, Brenda. You're looking good.
Thank you. So then got back to Radio One's Blue Chip, and Radio One did their thing. And I stayed selling radio until 2007. So like 1993 to 2007. And then, as we are on this journey of life, which I tell my students at the media school, to enjoy the journey. Don't rush to something. Whatever you learn in doing it, whether it's good, whether it's bad, enjoy that journey that you're on, so that it doesn't whiz by, so fast. And then I decided to leave radio. I'm from old school. We don't leave a job unless we have a job, Okay, you know that one.
That's another gem she just dropped, y'all. Some people ain't get that. She dropped the gem.
So I ended up working with Who's Who Publishing for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then I worked with my girl Sharon Gordon with Urban Trends.
Oh yeah, UTS.
A year and a half, but then because God first. God was moving my soul and my spirit while I'm doing selling everything for everybody. So he pushed me to take that leap of faith. And I started my own company, Spencer for Hire Media. And I got a book coming out, Kevin, that I'll be back to promote, because it's called I Was Pushed to My Leap of Faith.
Pushed to it.
I was pushed
Hey, some
faith. You know, you got to understand when God is in your life and he's pushing you and moving you, you know. So for those people that get stuck in the rut, then you stuck because he's trying to move you along and you ain't trying to move. So you got to move when he say move, just like that. You know that song?
You did move. Yep, just like that.
Just like that. Yeah.
So
So
listen,
anyway,
y'all.
from there, I started 2010. I started Spencer for Hire Media, and that's because my last name is Spencer. And there used to be a TV show. The story behind that, there used to be a TV show.
That's right.
Spencer, you remember that?
Oh, of course.
So some don't know that either. That's another gem for those that don't know.
Come on.
It was Robert Urich and the black guy that was Hawk. They were like investigation, but their show was called Spencer for Hire.
Yeah,
so
Avery was amazing.
And I made the number 4, and then I made Hire, Higher, for my higher power.
That's right. That's right. Powerful gem drop there too.
That's how that came about. So, and plus they can't sue me for having Spencer for Hire.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And then from there, here I am 11 years later. I just celebrated my 11-year anniversary.
Congratulations,
Grace
Brenda.
of God. Thank you. Hallelujah.
Amen.
On January the 1st. And yeah. So not only am I running my own business, I'm also an instructor at the Ohio Media School.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to do forever because I'm a giver, you know, give back. And then also in changing my strategy with my business, you know, because it's a sales thing, I wanted to move into less selling and more public speaking and teaching and the media school and giving back and things like that while I'm still running my business with a couple major clients, which I am so happy to have. God has truly blessed me. I had established my business. And I'm sitting here, I had just got my bank account with my checks, with my name on it, you know, Spencer for Hire. I'm all excited about that.
Right.
And I promise you, God spoke to me in this ear. And what he said was, while you selling everything, you need to be selling me.
Ooh.
I was like, oh. And I don't know if you're a believer. I'm a believer. I heard it clear as day, like he was sitting next to me. And I took that, you know, because I've always been, you know, spiritual and raised in the church, all of that. But they say when you know the voice of God, you know it. From that, I put a list of core values together for my company. And the first core value is God first.
Okay.
And then I went to honesty and integrity and accomplishments and community service and all of those lists of things that you need to have. If you're going to run a business, you got to be about your business.
Yes,
and have something that you stand for. Because, you know, they say you got to stand for something or fall for anything. So that's what has blessed me. And even in writing my first book, the promotion.
Amen. Amen. Go ahead. Do what you do.
It's a quick, easy read. I wrote this book to promote for salespeople, for rookie and veteran salespeople, and for entrepreneurs and for small business owners. It's to get you selling right away, because small business owners, which are millions of us out there now, think they don't have to sell. You have to sell your business.
You better listen.
The first person to sell.
The number one salesperson in your company
is you.
It's you. That's it.
And just like Vincent did when he was telling his story, couldn't you feel his passion? Couldn't you feel it?
Yes,
I just want to be part of it. When you telling your own, nobody can tell your story like you tell your story.
That's right.
That's how nobody. You get people in, you know, and I get people to reach out to me all the time. They're like, oh, I need you to help me sell my stuff. I'm like, no, I'm not here to sell your stuff for you now. Okay, I can put you out there, but it starts with you. And your passion and telling that story and following that journey and rising and grinding every day. So this is how, you know, we get to where we want to be, you know, because the joy comes in the morning.
Okay.
I know I sound like an evangelist, but
that's all right though. That's all right.
I had to give my glory and honor and praises to where I know my help comes from, because I stay on my path. And there's so many different things come to you, and smoothly when you are in God's presence and following your path and your passion. Things happen. Things are happening hard for you. You're doing the wrong thing.
Oh, she just dropped another one. Listen.
If it's hard, it's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be challenging and a journey and learning and all of those good things that come to you and rewarding and loving and giving and kindness, all of the good things that are part of your life, your family, your children, you're supposed to be enjoying that every day. Every day, because
I'm getting a workout. Y'all see this? I'm telling sometimes I get done with a show, I'm like, oh, this is one of them.
Well, you blink 5 years gone by. I told my daughter that when she had my grandson, I told her, I said, enjoy every moment. Even when he was a baby, and the crying and the diapers and all of that stuff. And I could see her frustration, all of that. And I said, listen, enjoy every moment, every minute of all of that, because you're going to blink 5 years going by. You're going to blink another 5 years going by. And look, he's about to turn 14. And she's telling me like, oh my God, Mom, you were right.
Yeah.
I can't believe I got a grown daughter who's wonderful as well, by the way. Hi, Bree.
Absolutely. Nice little shout out to Bree.
Yes. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so Brent, I got a few questions that I need to ask you though, right?
Please,
so because you told us quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then there's more that we need to know and understand, right? So first thing is Spencer for Hire, real short, because we really want to talk about some other things you're doing.
Yeah.
Spencer for Hire, what is Spencer for Hire? Like, what's the business and who are your clients? Like, who would be an ideal client for you?
Yeah, Spencer for Hire Media, I created it because after selling Black radio for so many years, so I know all about the Black community, but I wanted it to be multicultural. So Spencer for Hire Media is a multicultural advertising, marketing, media buying, special event, sales training agency. And I keep adding slashes. I keep growing. I'm going to keep adding more and more.
Diversifying your portfolio.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm all about what I call, I'm calling multiple streams of revenue.
That's right.
I need money coming from over here and over there and over there and over there. So what I do is, and how I have made my business, because I'm a small agency, and I did all the steps. I got certified through the state of Ohio as an MBE and an EDGE, which you have to do after 1 year. And it's not but paperwork. And this is why I tell everybody, do the paperwork. Didn't cost me
paperwork.
Do the paperwork. Yeah. So once I got started my first year, I spent my first year going to different communities. So I went, and not to just the community, I went to their media, because people trust their own media. So I went to the Hispanic station, La Mega, and sat with them for a couple of months and asked them tons of questions and asked them how their communities work and who spends money and all those demographic things that I don't know, because I can tell you all about Black community and Black radio.
Right.
I don't know nothing about their community. So that taught me a lot. And I built that relationship. And they loved it, because I said, whatever business I get, I'm going to, because I work with corporate clients, Walmart, Fifth Third Bank, places like that. I said, I will introduce you, take you with me into that. Because they don't know that the Hispanic station is over there. Then I went to the Somali community media. So, and I went to, they had their newspaper, and they have the website, things like that. That's a new growing community. They had only been in Columbus, I think, 10, 12 years when I started my company. But I needed to know about how they buy products and services, and how their community, because they seem to be closed community. Same thing like the Asian community. How does the Asian? I started working with their media folks, and I learned so much. It was awesome. I learned that. Let me tell you a quick thing that I learned. I learned that the Hispanic community, you have to be very careful with how you deliver a message to them, because of ICE and immigration.
That's right. And
you're afraid of being tricked into something.
And it's real world. Yeah, it's real for them. Yeah.
So I had a client with the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission several years ago, and they wanted to reach out to the Somali, the Black community, and the Hispanic community. And what I did was I found a gentleman that translates and speaks 100 languages. put him on the team. So all the media that we did for the Hispanic community was translated into Spanish. Same thing for the Somali. We gave them the pictures, the images, and the wording and all of that in their language.
Yep, that's right.
Know, it's difficult working with certain communities because of their religion. I mean, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm selling me, and I'm boss hog. You see what I'm saying? I'm that beast. So if I'm coming into your community, I'm sorry, I'm coming as is. Purple nails, purple, you know who I am. And you know, some of the men ain't feeling that.
Right.
But that's your problem, not mine. I got
cultural differences. Cultural.
Thank you for the wording. Yes. So I learned a lot. The Asian community can be difficult to work with, but they're a self-contained community, you know. And they find, when I say self-contained, I mean they have somebody in their community do everything.
Yeah. So I get it. Every aspect.
Because we got people, you know, which we all communities have, especially the African American community, if we would just come together more. But that's one of the things I do for my business. Because I'm small, I look huge, but I look huge because I'm going to call on Victor for what he does. I'm going to call on Kevin Lloyd for what he does, and I'm going to call on Sharon, and I'm going to call on my IT guy, and I'm going to pull all of these people into my projects.
That's right.
What they specialize in, because I ain't a doctor, I ain't a nurse. Don't ask me.
Can't do it all.
Can't do it all, but it helps us all come together on projects, expand our portfolios, and everybody eats. Everybody gets paid.
Woo! So here's the deal, y'all. Hence the name of this show: Support Black Business Series. This is what this is about, and this is how we work together to make things happen. She said it so eloquently, and then at the end of the day, and some partners and I, we use the exact same. One of our first values was everybody eats. You just said it, and guess what? There's enough for everybody to eat, but until you're able to open your eyes to see how much is out there, it's hard for you to understand that there's enough for everybody to eat.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna jump in there. I tell people my cup runneth over. I'm turning down some business, okay? There's so much out there that hasn't even been tapped.
Can't do it all. Can't get to it. Yeah,
you just got to rise and grind. You got to go after it, you know, because like I tell people, nobody has ESP. We don't know you out there. You know what I'm saying? You know, and most people have not because they ask not. I'm always asking for the deal, for the sale. I walk in closing.
Double jammy.
I walk in closing. When I go into a new client, my first question is, what's your budget?
There you go.
I'm going for money. Yeah. Okay, so when do you want to get started? How soon do you? What's it?
What? Let's go.
That's
business.
It's business. Right.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
Business.
Good stuff. So let's talk. So that's Spencer for Hire. Now you actually you're the creator of Caring for the Caregiver Expo.
Oh my God. Yes.
So we go now we're talking deep legacy type stuff. So talk to us about that. What is that? And how did you come up with that idea?
I gotta just tell people, when you're on your journey, I keep talking about your passion and your life and your journey, life is going to happen. Bad things are going to happen, but you got to still keep your business rolling, keep your life going, and deal with things. And like I said, God pushed me to my leap of faith. Well, my mother passed away. This is how I created Care for the Caregiver Expo in 2004. And her and my dad have been together for over 50 years. You know, we come from the parents that never leave each other.
That's right.
Yeah.
And what happened was, I have an older sister. Her name is Tanya. Hi, sissy. She's going to be mad at me. But anyway, we stepped up. We were grown women in our 40s, but we had to take care of my dad because he totally lost it. You know, they were old school. My mother handled everything. My dad was retired. He just didn't know how to take it. So he was mad at God and the whole world and me and you and everybody. But through the first 9 months, he didn't want to live anymore. I mean, he went into deep depression and sadness and all of that. Well, we come from a family that we ain't about to let that happen. So we stepped in, took care of him, you know, got him straight. Everything, he handled all the business, whether he liked it or not. And he did not, but we didn't care because we knew we were going to provide a better quality of life for him, which we did.
Yeah.
Because the doctors actually said if we hadn't stepped in when we did, he would have been gone in another month. That would have been less than a
Wow.
year. You know,
Yep.
what we did, because of what we did, he lived another
So
13
real.
years.
Yeah.
Got to meet his great
Wow.
grandsons and be a part of their life, and just everything was wonderful. So through that, and another client that I have a client that's because you talked about my clients, it's called My Last Farewell. Well, he came to me a few years ago, and he has this thing called My Last Farewell. You go online and you can videotape a message to your family, and they safely store it. That's the big thing. They safely store it.
Oh wow.
And you can link in and make it a will or whatever. And then when upon your death, they would play it for your family or give it to your family. So we did a first advertising for him for a year, but the thing we learned is everybody gonna die, but nobody want to talk about that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So what we discovered was we needed another plan. So in the midst of me thinking, here come God, here he come, y'all. And he gave me the vision from that caregiving idea to do a care, because I'm like, you need an event. You need an event. Because some things people have to see and feel. And I came up with Caring for the Caregiver Expo because have been doing events forever. I did Champions University with the Lynch family for years, and I could put on an event, I know what I'm doing. So I came up with the idea, and I started thinking about everything I went through as a caregiver, how hard it was to deal with the finances. I had to deal with the banks. I had to deal with the insurance. I had to deal with the medical. Luckily I had my sister. She dealt with the hands-on. I handled the business. So from all of that, I put together the event just to give people a day of relaxation, of relief, somebody that cares for the caregiver. Who's caring for all the caregivers? Because everybody's going to be one soon or need care. So that's how the ideal came up. Then I came up with the ideal of hosting it at the Boathouse, and we put it together. So one day is Saturday. November is National Caregivers Month. We'll have everybody come in. It's free. Everything is free. It's free to park. It's free to get in. It's free lunch. It's free pampering. It's free information. It's free getting fit, healthy, everything. So we got the entire building. The first one was in 2019, was our inaugural event. And it was fabulous. We had my church, Faith Ministries, and Dr. Wise, and all my church family stood behind me. And we put on that event. Over 300 people came. It was fabulous. It was wonderful. I mean, people couldn't wait because it was for them. And the pampering room, they got massages and reflexology and manicures and ear candle waxing and so many things in that room. Then the main ballroom, we put all of the vendors. The Ohio State University OSU Medical Center was a sponsor. And of course, the Ohio Sickle Cell and Health Association has been my client for years. They were our nonprofit hosts. And then, of course, the county agencies, Franklin County Office on Aging. We had UPS, because we put a career fair in a education fair. Hondros College came on board. We had the city of Columbus that came in and did free health screenings. It was just everything. It was fantastic. So that was the first. And then, of course, in 2020, our cousin COVID came in, and we had to postpone everything because this is an annual event. But with COVID, we had to, skip 2020. But we're planning in the midst right now. We are going to move forward in November. November is National Caregivers Month, to host the second annual Caring for the Caregiver Expo on Saturday, November the 6th. And we're going to make it bigger and better than it was. I need sponsors. Look, here we go, asking for the money. I need sponsors. I need vendors. Okay, people to come in because it's a fun, relaxing day. It's for caregivers. We're adding some new things. We're going to add a walk with the doctor because there's trails around the Boathouse. It's at the Boathouse again. We're going to have some other new exciting things. We do prizes. We do giveaways. We make it a fun, relaxing day. And the thing I was most excited about, you had to tell me when to shut up because I'm going to keep going. The thing that I was most excited about was I reached in doing my research for the first annual in 2019 is I found out that former First Lady Rosalind Carter, Jimmy Carter's wife,
okay,
that's her platform is caregiver.
Wow.
So I reached out to, ain't nobody beyond my reach. Okay.
Yep.
I reached out to her team and I asked her to come because she's such a trailblazer. She's in her 90s. Jimmy Carter, he's still working. He's still working and falling and hammering and doing his thing.
Yeah.
But I love that about this family. So I reached out to her team and asked her if she could come. We want to give her a Trailblazer Award. They said no.
Okay.
So you know me, I don't take no for an answer.
I could tell.
So I called him back again. I said, okay, well, how about this? We'll send a team to you, videotape you, and then we'll play it at the event. They said no to that.
Wow.
I went back again the other week. I said, okay, how about this? How about you give me a letter of support for our program book? This was the first program book, souvenir program book, and they said yes. I guess they said, let's give this woman something because she ain't gonna leave us alone. And in the book, she said we have a letter and her picture.
Wow, that is so awesome.
And you can see this online. And look, I got the letter framed up on my desk. That's a prized possession now to have the oldest living former First Lady support our event. I mean, that was just beautiful. Yes, because if they had said no to that, I was going back again. I was going to say, okay, how about that? How about a pen or a mug? I was going to keep going until I got something. But that's what sales people do. That's what we do.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Your persistence. So I need everybody. So this is the thing. She just dropped a big and major gem, right? So persistent. Right? She knew what she wanted. And guess what? There was a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. It was like, I'm getting something and I'm going to be persistent about it. And guess what? You got it.
And listen, if I had to end it, if I had to end it with all my thoughts, I would have circled back to the beginning and started all over again.
All over again.
Yes. Yes. Persistence pays. This is what and I've had people tell me that you are the most persistent person, but that's what it takes, and that's my passion. Hopefully you can feel it. And you know me, Kevin.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. I know. Well, listen, we're getting ready to wrap up on time in a minute. So there's a couple of things, right? You obviously have the second show coming up, the second expo, coming up. How can we, and I know we still have some time, but how can people get engaged? So if you're looking for somebody to be a sponsor, an exhibitor, a vendor, how do we follow up? When do we follow up to be a part of this expo? Because it's so relevant to all of us, right? So how do we follow up?
Well, first of all, follow up right now. You said when, right now, because we're gonna blink and it's gonna be November.
Okay.
So I've already had a few vendors from the first one come back on, but caring for the caregiver expo.com.
Okay.
Caring for the caregiver expo.com. And if you go there, and we also have a Caring for the Caregiver Facebook page, but if you go to the website, you will be able to click on everything. You'll see me talking. You'll see the presentation package for the sponsors and the vendors and exhibitors that want to come on board. And I'm telling you, come on board early. This one's going to be huge. I'm going after national coverage. I'm calling good. I've already called Good Morning America and Ellen and Tyler Perry. We want them all. I'm going after the national coverage.
Going big.
Okay. And they're going to be there. Trust me, by the time I get through. And but everything you need is on that site. And for those who want to attend, there's also a link there. Just go to Eventbrite and you just click on fill out. It's a free ticket. Just get the free ticket so that you can come on board. If we have anybody that wants to make a donation, we have a GoFundMe page. Everything is Caring for the Caregiver Expo. And of course, you can reach me at Spencer for Hire Media.
Yeah.
Of course, bspencer@spencerforhiremedia.com is my email. Or call Kevin. He know how to reach me.
I know how to track it down, y'all.
Yeah.
I know how to track it down.
But I want to say thank you for having me. Please have me back.
Definitely.
You know I love you and your family.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yes,
we love
one of your daughters and I share a birthday.
Yes, indeed. How about that?
So you remember that, huh?
Yes, I remember that.
All right. So I have to let Madison know. So listen, here's the thing is we said this earlier, and yes, you shared a lot, but as we go down this wrapping up piece, is there one thing that you said, hey, I wanted to share that too, but I missed it because I got this across. But before we go, is there anything else that you wanted to make sure you deliver to our audience tonight while you have the platform?
Absolutely. Two things.
Yes.
God first.
Amen.
And follow your passion.
That sweet, simple, and real, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bam. God first. Bam.
God first.
Follow your passion. It's as simple as that. So now,
and wait. Let me say this. And I'm not sounding preachy. I'm not sounding preachy. I just tell how I met him and what he's done in my life.
There you go.
So what I tell people from when I heard him speak to me, what I say is, if you don't know him, you better get to know
him. Yeah.
Amen. Amen. Praise the Lord.
That's there a gem drop right there. So listen, y'all. Now here's the deal. I know that some people you sit there and you say, yeah, that sounds easy, right? Follow your passion. She's saying that for a reason. Like it's really that serious. And when she talked earlier about if you're struggling, not that you don't deal with challenges, we all do, but if you're like totally unhappy with what it is that you're doing, is likely not what you're supposed to be doing, right? And unfortunately, we waste a lot of time, energy, effort, and money trying to do something that we're not supposed to be here on earth doing.
Yes. Right.
Don't waste that time. So, and guess what? Everybody's light bulb goes off at a different time. Everybody's tug on their heart for that passion that she mentioned goes off at a different time. But when you know, make the change. All right. So thank you, Brenda.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So listen, y'all, with that being said, you all can tell, like, this is amazing. Like, I love these shows because of the people that come on and what you learn. It's so much learning. Victor drops so much for us, and he's powerful and amazing in everything he's doing, not just right now, but what he has planned to do to change and impact lives. Then we follow up with Brenda, who's done so much and shares so much knowledge and wisdom. But guess what? It's still doing so much to impact positively and change lives. And that's what it's all about. So with that being said, y'all, I thank you all for joining us on ColumbusBlack.com Support Black Business Series with our special segment, Artist Voice, sponsored by Columbus Makes Art. And guess what? The Ohio Small Business Development Centers at Columbus State Community College. Now, make sure you check us out on ColumbusBlack.com. You're going to get a pop-up for you to join our mailing list. That's so that you don't miss out on amazing discussions like this and miss amazing people like this, or the opportunity to support them in their endeavors as well, because they say it's better to give than to receive, right? So with that being said, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. That's where you'll see all of these different series and episodes. And as I always say before I wrap up, in order to be more successful in your future, you need to understand a little bit more about your past. And I hope that you all enjoyed this amazing show, because I did, and I just had a blast. And on that note, y'all, I'm out. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. And mask up. Stay safe. It ain't no